everything is a numbers game. If it takes 100 roles to get a job that pays 6 figures, you're gonna do it, right? You're gonna apply if you know that one yes is coming. And that's really what it is. It's not a rejection, it's just opening the doors for a future yes.
Hey, my bro, what's your name and what do you do?
Taofik, Suleiman, I'm a product manager at YouTube.
So, how'd you become a product manager?
Man, I accidentally fell into the role. Back in college, I went to University of Illinois, studied engineering, business minor. I didn't know exactly what to do, so I tried all kinds of internships. My last one was a PM internship at Microsoft. Fell in love with it, and now I'm here.
So, what is the biggest advice you would give anyone trying to get into product management?
I would say one is really spend time like consuming information or resources around product management. So marketing videos on YouTube, podcasts, books, so you can understand the lingo and sound more like a PM. Because ultimately everything comes down to is how do you convince someone that you can be successful in the role as a product manager. The second thing is getting PM specific experience or adjacent. So for example, you might not have been a product manager at your previous job, but you might have written technical specs, which is one of the biggest things of the PM role. So putting it on your resume and tailoring it in the language and lingo, the buzzwords related to PM is one way to break in. And lastly is a lot of referrals, really. The PM community is really small, so if you can have people refer you on the recruiter side, hiring manager side, that's one of the ways to really stand out.
So one of the road to 6 figures is paved with a lot of rejection. How do you deal with that?
One is just, so there's a bunch of different ways. For me, one thing I do is I listen to like motivational videos on repeat in the morning, especially in the morning. When I'm applying to stuff, I just have Eric Thompson screaming at me on his YouTube videos to motivate me to like keep going. Because ultimately everything is a numbers game. I applied to, for this specific role I'm in, I applied to 74 positions. Out of those 74, only like maybe 30 reached out to me. Out of those 30, I had conversations, maybe 10. I only got one yes. Everything is a numbers game. If it takes 100 roles to get a job that pays 6 figures, you're gonna do it, right? You're gonna apply if you know that one yes is coming. And that's really what it is. It's not a rejection, it's just opening the doors for a future yes.
Bro, you're saying a lot of game right now. So what are some mistakes you see people make on product resumes?
Product resumes is one, being too vague. They might say, hey, I optimized the process for my last role. What does that mean? What did you optimize? What's the metrics? What's the specific thing you did? And what is a cool project or technology that you implemented in whatever process or role you did? People are a little bit too vague and they're afraid to go a little bit too deep. Another thing is they're not clear on exactly what it is they want. So if you want a product manager role, you should have a product objective statement that says, hey, I'm interested in PM roles in what's vertical. Is it the media streaming platforms? Is it cloud space? Be specific and be open-minded. And lastly is like another way to be product specific on your resumes, having specific product skills section. A lot of people put Python, C on their resumes, but a lot of product managers don't actually code. So what are the skills that PMs, they're looking for in PMs? Tech writing, strategy, coming up with strategy, user, customer experience, or interviewing or experimentation. Those are specific product skills I have listed on my resume and helps me stand out when I'm applying to other PM roles.
That is so dope. What are 3 mistakes that people should avoid in product manager interviews?
In product manager interviews is jumping to an answer without clarifying or asking clarifying questions. So if I ask you, hey, design a mobile app for blind people, and you say, hey, here's how I do it. First, you'd be asking, why are we building a mobile app for blind people? What is it that specific need that we're solving? Is it in a specific country or demographic? Ask clarifying questions because your answer could be different if you didn't get some additional context. The second thing is not bringing in like data sources or some way that proves why decision or recommendation is valid. So for example, if I said, hey, should YouTube, actually a strategy question, should YouTube focus on short form content like TikTok or long form content like Netflix? You should then ask, okay, I would recommend, short form content because the data that I'm seeing is that the attention span of users is reducing. So if we index on long form content, that might not be what users want. So pulling data sources and being specific on becoming credible in your answers, either by statistics, experience, like I might say, hey, I actually did interviews in my last role for people in this specific topic. So backing up your answers with experience, data, and things like that. And lastly, I think a huge myth is people, again, this is a numbers game. You might not get that exact interview or job for this interview, but people don't ask for feedback direct in interview. One question I always ask, even if I think the interview went well, is, hey, what is something that I didn't touch on that you're looking for in this interview that we just had? Or how can I have improved? Or what do you think I didn't do well in? If they say, oh, you did great on strategy, but you were not very analytical or didn't talk about your data sources, now you got an extra 2 minutes to back that up and say, oh, actually, I do have that. Here's more experience or justification. Or you can use that to improve for your next interview and increase your success chances so you can eventually get a yes.
What is a typical starting salary for product roles?
Definitely we clear 100K. At a big company like Microsoft, Google, things like that, you're making anywhere from like 100, 105 to 120K base salary at a low level, entry level. But you see roles like on Netflix, I looked at a Netflix description that someone sent me and it said 240K to 720K. So there's a lot of money you can make, you feel me?
That's massive. Lastly, what's one advice you'll give someone who's trying to transition from out of tech into a tech in a role like product management?
I would say one is leverage like all these free resources like boot camps, certifications to like upskill and get up to par with people that come from traditional like CS degrees, because that's the biggest thing people are looking for in tech careers. Like this person have actual hands-on experience in technical areas. So get hands-on experience through personal projects, boot camps, or certifications. The next thing is really network, recruit, get referrals, and get someone that can vouch for you. Become best friends with the recruiter for technical roles at this company, or someone that can refer you at that company.
Appreciate you, brother.
No, thank you, man. See you doing your stuff, man.
Yeah.